About 2 months ago, I had the most surreal out of body experience. I have to share this with you today, so just humor me for a moment. Imagine we're together walking on a beautiful white sand beach, the soft, warm sand under our feet, mountains on either side of us sloping gently into the water. Pelicans are gliding above, and there's a stray dog curled up in the distance. Marerly Sambo is with us. She's a local healer known for her powerful energy. She asks us to lie down and close our eyes. At first, all we hear is the gentle rhythm of the waves rolling onto the shore and a soft whisper just above the breeze. It's Marerly speaking quiet to her ancestors. This is a crystal healing ceremony, something I've never experienced before. She places a cool stone on our forehead, another on your right cheek, a large one on your throat. She asks you to open your mouth, and you feel a drop of something sweet and spicy on your tongue from the medicine dropper. You feel her hands gliding over different parts of your body, and then the sound of a singing bowl fills the air. Your mind begins to race, but you can't quite catch any of your thoughts. They blend together into a colorful swirl behind your eyelids, and the scent of purifying smoke fills your senses. And then nothing. Your mind is completely blank. Moments later, Marerly takes your hand and gently helps you to your feet, and the ceremony is over. "Welcome to Curacao," she says, and we're left wondering, what the fuck just happened? I'm Michael Motometti, and you're listening to No Fixed Address, the world's most extraordinary people, presented by Matador Network. 2 years ago, I quit my job as a marketing executive and decided to travel the world with my wife.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
And our baby daughter. We sold our home, our cars, packed a bunch of clothes into a small suitcase, and now live in a new country every single month. And something I've come to love about living on the road is the people I meet. So I decided to start a podcast. That way you can meet them too. Wow. Did that not just take you back to the moment? Like, I felt like I was reliving that moment right there.
I did too, because I was on the outside, but it was still very peaceful, and I was experiencing the pelicans jumping into the water and this rhythmic.
I don't know. I mean, we obviously do not promote the usage of any drugs, but you know, if you've done a little acid or shroom in your life ever, it's kind of near that. It was very psychedelic feeling.
Really?
Like, yeah, it was, and it was very in tune with nature, you know?
We should clarify the potion that she gave you, the solution that she gave you was just
a relaxation. It was like an aromatic relaxation of sorts, but it wasn't aromatic because you drank it, but
yeah, it was a local flower that she puts in a solution, but it was just a natural remedy, nothing.
But I don't know.
Nothing psychedelic.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then when I woke up, I'll never forget it. Like, I just felt this sense of peace over me. And it was a very strange feeling for me because I have so many thoughts racing through my head all the time. Like right now, I have 4 different thoughts going through my head that have nothing to do with this podcast, nothing to do with this conversation, nothing to do with anything. And so when I had woken up from that, I felt like focused. I felt like, hey, just in the moment. And I'm like, is this how everybody, is this what like normal people are like? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, whoa, this is awesome.
That's so funny.
And the beach, oh my God.
Yeah, we were at Santa Cruz Beach. It was just us. There was nobody else.
Yeah, so in Curacao, you can commercialize beaches. You can own them, which I found pretty surprising, to be honest. A lot of the locals, you know, the people that live there for generations and generations really hate this about Curacao, to be honest. As a tourist, you don't really notice it, right? Because you go, you want drinks. You want a bed to lay down on. You want a towel. You know what I mean? And so you don't really think twice about it. But, the way that she was explaining it is that she only goes to public beaches, places that kind of still belong to the land.
Well, a lot of them are owned by the Dutch, and we talk about this too, but it's important to say that Curacao is a Dutch island. So sometimes you'll hear Marerly say, yeah, like in the Netherlands, a lot of people that live in Curacao and are from Curacao spend a good chunk of time in the Netherlands. Sometimes they just go do their education there and come back.
There's a symbiotic relationship between the Netherlands and Curacao because Curacao is, for lack of better words, a Dutch island.
Yeah, they travel back and forth so often.
Yeah, so they're able to study there. They're able to, do work there, everything.
In fact, do you remember we ran into Marerly in the airport when we were leaving Curacao? She was going to Holland.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I forgot all about that. She's like, hey! She is the coolest chick. Just what a down to earth. And I just remember when we first met her, when we walked up to go say hello, she's selling all these potions.
Yeah.
Quick heads up, there are conversations about psychedelic drugs on this episode, and we want to make sure that in no way are we condoning the use of drugs for anyone. Obviously, you can tell that we are pretty open-minded, and we believe a to each their own type of mentality. But again, we do not condone the use of drugs. Take this with a grain of salt. It's a very powerful episode. And I 100% recommend you go meeting Marerly when you go to Curacao.
Definitely. Marerly Sambo is a clinical and community herbalist, as well as a ritual facilitator originally from Curacao. She's based on the island now, but spent some time in the Netherlands studying microbiology. About 10 years ago, she decided to combine her science background with her love and knowledge for herbs to start the Universal Alchemist. She makes all kinds of small batch remedies using local plants, like butterfly pea flower for better sleep, moringa for inflammation, and even a lung elixir to clear up mucus. Today, we're sitting down at Hofi Cascora, a farm and eatery where she runs a pop-up shop, to talk about the island, her story, and how nature ties into our well-being.
Just so you know, this episode is sponsored by Guide Geek. If you're booking a trip, check out Guide Geek, a new way to plan travel. It's an AI chatbot built on OpenAI, but what's cool is that it's actually curated by human travel experts at Matador Network, the world's largest independent travel publisher. I've been using it for a while now, mostly on WhatsApp, but you can use it on Instagram Messenger too. I often ask for advice on what neighborhoods to stay in when I'm booking accommodations, or you can get a little deeper and ask how Anthony Bourdain would enjoy a specific city. It's amazing. Head to guidegeek.com to try Guide Geek for free and start planning your next trip. That's GUIDEGEEK.com to start planning your next trip with your newest AI travel assistant. Welcome.
Thank you.
For people that are at home,
Marerly
has a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
It was the first thing I said to you when we saw each other the other day. You call yourself and your brand the Universal Alchemist, right? Which I think is a fascinating name in its own right.
Thank you.
We'll get to how we got there, but how do you describe what you do?
In one word, it would be...
Well, you could use more than one word.
It's like a combination of what I study, which is microbiology, and then herbalism. And then I really wanted to bring it out in only one word. And to be honest, that's an alchemist. Because as a microbiologist, I study how microorganisms has an impact in our health. As an herbalist, I harness the power of plants to promote wellness. But as an alchemist, I transform energy to make beautiful products for my community.
Wow. That last part gave me chills.
Yes, I really do that. It took me a while to accept my gift as, transforming energy and, yes, alchemizing energy and make products, make services, make workshops. That's what I do.
It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
How does the island impact that, right? Like you work with such natural ingredients.
Yes.
Does the island itself have a big impact on what you do?
Yes, it did. More like getting in touch with my ancestors. So it was getting first in touch with my ancestor and then with the plants. Because we have another flora and fauna. Do we call it like that?
Yeah,
Also
fauna.
than in the Netherlands. So my grandmother was a folk herbalist. I'm more a community and clinical herbalist.
Wow.
So yes, she was a folk herbalist, and I saw her making potions and home remedies.
But
and
like
then
you
I started to dig a little more in our plants, our native plants.
Ooh. That time on the beach was something else. Obviously, I didn't know what to expect. Describe to us what happened there.
What I did was a crystal grid. I was placing crystals on your body strategically. And it was more my intention for you because each one crystal grid ritual is different. It's the intention. So my intention for you was to relax you. But I saw your video, so I got a picture, of you, and I saw that you have a lot of energy in your belly. We call it the solar plexus. That's your point where you produce a lot of energy and creativity. But because you were so tired, it was stuck. So what I did was release it and then spread it through your whole body.
Okay.
And then the last part was because I told you to don't fight your thoughts. Let them be there. But then I kind of took your thoughts away and I gave it to the ocean. So I didn't work only with the crystals, each one of them having their own benefits, their own healing benefits, but I worked also with the wind and with the ocean and with the sand.
Just everything around us.
Yes, the sand was grounding you to our ground.
Can you tell me a little bit about Santa Cruz, this beach that we went to, and what it means to you and your family?
Yes. It's not truly related to my family, but it's more Santa Cruz is not a commercial beach. And for me, that is so important. So it's very intact.
Well, describe what a commercial beach is, because people might not know what that is exactly.
Yeah, when a lot of people go to one beach and they are all in that water, the vibrational energy tends to go down. And the vibrational energy on Santa Cruz Beach is so high. You felt it.
Yeah.
You too.
Oh my
But
God.
it's also
the moment we came there, I know you felt it. So,
but it also belongs to the island.
It belongs to the island.
See, a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that either. In Curacao, a lot of the beaches are private beaches owned by
Someone.
Mostly the Dutch, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't really see a lot of the indigenous native individuals who, I don't know if you guys call yourself indigenous or native or just native to the country, whatever it may be.
We call ourselves Yudi Corso. We are the only island here on the planet calling themselves a son or daughter of the island. U is child, D is of, and Curacao. Yudi Corso, the only island.
Child of Curacao.
Yes.
Wow,
we
so
are the
when you
only
say-
island here in the world.
Wow.
Yes.
So instead
Yudi
of saying
Corso.
like, I'm Colombian, you say,
Yudi Corso.
Child
wow,
of Colombia.
child of
Yeah.
the island. Cool.
Can you imagine? I go around. Where are you from? I'm the child
Say,
of California.
Mita Yudi Corso. Mita Yudi Corso. This
gonna
is the
do that.
way we call ourselves. So
I'm going to do
it's-
that from now on. by the
Yeah.
way.
I gotta say,
Child from California.
and
Child
yeah.
of California.
Child of California doesn't have the same ring.
I'm not going to do that. I promise.
Doesn't
It doesn't, so it's
that's
so,
actually fascinating. Wow.
so beautiful, right?
But so I guess that's what we were trying to get at, is that this specific beach, amongst seldom other ones as well too, is open to everyone.
It's open to everyone.
And it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. And I heard from other people that our ancestors before go into a revolution, they drank like a potion to give them strength
On that beach?
on that beach,
Whoa.
on that particular beach.
That beach, the moment you left,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
I wasn't wearing a bathing suit, and I just felt like I needed to jump in. I jumped in with all of my clothes. And
As
I
it should
swam
be. Yes,
She did.
it should be.
very
And she
edge.
just-
But tell me, it was calling you, right?
I
The water.
couldn't
That's what
resist
she
it.
said too. And she just sat there like this. And that's what I usually do for like 20, 30 minutes. She doesn't do it as long as that day.
It was very long.
Just laying down.
Yes.
And I didn't want to bother her. Thank God I had the energy that you
Yeah.
gave me. Because
It was
usually I'd
your-
be like this, yo, we gotta fucking
But-
go, dude.
Yeah, no, but it was, I didn't give you anything. It was your own energy.
You redirected it.
Your own energy. I was just helping a little bit, spreading it through your whole body, through your head, because you were so busy here with many things. But when you tend to be tired, you don't have like the capacity anymore to take nothing else.
Yeah.
So I was just
You don't have space.
yes. I was just alchemizing everything.
Do you think that is like what is the exact impact of the crystals on the human body? Like, could you describe that or no?
Yes, they are natural minerals, and they come from the earth. And you can see them also as a tool, just as plants. I'm an herbalist, but you can also work with crystals. And to be honest, our pineal gland is also a crystal. That's a very tiny, like rice, tiny shape in our brain.
Wow.
Yes.
And so how does it interact with the body though, exactly?
Yes, because our whole body works on energy. We are energetic beings. And then it connects also with the energy of the crystals. But
Is it
it's
cleansing?
not only crystal, also plants.
And this idea and this craft of alchemy and herbalism is everywhere. Is there anything specific, and goes back ages, but is there anything specific to Curacao or the Caribbean or the islands that makes it different? Or is it just...
Yes, it makes it different because each country or island or land has its own healing modalities, healing principles. And, the way I do energy healing, I don't, like I said, I don't like to call it healing, but more alchemizing energy. I think because I use the tools of this island, it tend to be different from when I do it in the Netherlands. It's just different.
Just different.
Different, yes.
Are there any plants or things that you lean on, natural ingredients that you lean on a bit here on the island?
Yes, I do love to work with aloe and also moringa because they are so nutrient dense, and so they have so many healing properties and so many vitamins and minerals. But I tend also to make products, to customize products. So when I do customize something for you, when you approach me, Ellie, can you make something for me? And then I ask you, okay, what do you need? Mm-hmm. That's my standard question. I need da-da-da-da. I love to use moringa.
If you're enjoying No Fixed Address, the world's most extraordinary people, we know you'll enjoy Travel That Matters. This season, Travel That Matters is interviewing master chefs like Wolfgang Puck and Danny Meyer, the founder of Shake Shack. Wolfgang Puck talks about his culinary adventures, including the time he was presented with 120 pounds of camel meat, and delves into how his love for travel has shaped his innovative approach to blending local ingredients with international flavors. Danny Meyer explains how childhood travel experiences shaped his restaurant empire and explores the power of family travel, the culinary scene in New York City, and innovative trends in food. Step into the exclusive world of luxury travel on the podcast Travel That Matters and open the doors to top food, adventure, and experiences. Find Travel That Matters wherever you listen to podcasts. Most of the time when you hear about like natural recipes and herbal kind of, lack of better words, medications, whatever
Yes.
it may be, it's like kind of like old wives' tales, like grandma's recipes. And like, you said you had experience like this? Was this passed down to you?
Yes.
Yeah, talk
Yes,
to me
it
about
tend
that.
to be.
Like you were a child in doing this, or?
Yes. I used to go a lot to my grandmother. She passed away. But like I told you, she was a folk herbalist, and her garden. Oh Lord, she had such a beautiful garden with many plants and flowers. And I used to ask a lot. Why are you using this plant, or what you use this plant for? What are the health benefits of this plant? And yeah,
So this was kind of in you.
it was in me
And then
already.
you studied microbiology.
Yes.
You just took it to another level.
Yes, and to be honest, I didn't even start it as to study microbiology. I went to the Netherlands to study DNA forensic, like forensic detective.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
Yes.
I watched that show all the time.
And then they introduced us to microbiology, and then I fell in love completely.
And then you
And then I
transitioned
transitioned. I changed totally to study microbiology.
Yeah.
You transformed your energy.
Yes.
I find it super good job. Point.
I'm learning.
Yeah, I was learning.
I was thinking while you were talking, we were in Bali and we met this lady, and I guess you would call her a folks herbalist because she would take care of the entire community. And people would come to her with her ailments, and she makes a special drink.
That's the folks herbalist.
That's what it is?
Yes.
A special drink for them, and then she has a drink that she makes for everyday use.
Yes.
But most of the people in Bali don't know her. It's just kind of local knowledge. And at the time, I was thinking, it sucks because a lot of this stuff has just been lost to the ether.
Yes.
Like, people don't remember this.
I don't even know if it's just about remembering. I think a lot of people undermine the power of natural remedies.
Yeah.
Right? My mother...
Till something happens. Like Corona. When Corona happened, wow, I was so busy making a lot of potions for everyone.
Really?
Yes, but after that, everyone was partying again, not taking care of their health. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a human thing. We like really are waiting for something to happen, and then we can take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's interesting because my mother is now, in the last 10, 15 years, only naturopathic doctors, doesn't see a regular doctor. I mean, she had massive rash here for 3 weeks. I'm like, just go see a doctor.
Yes.
And she's just like, no, I don't want to go to the doctor. You know, I'm just going to clean my gut. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm like, yeah, I understand. But at some point, don't you think like a regular medical doctor is okay? Or,
of course.
Yeah.
I have an integrative point of view. Yes, I do have. They complement each other very well.
See, that's the good word.
Yes,
they complement each other.
Yes.
It's not like
we
an
need
extreme.
each other. No,
because we have come
but you
along.
see more doctors accepting that also.
Yes.
That we also need nature more.
Yeah.
So it's complementation.
Yeah, I like that actually viewpoint a lot, because my issue is that we've come so long a long way from where we were when there was plagues and we didn't have the same technologies and understanding of the human body. And so for us to just say, hey, you know, medical doctors don't know what the hell they're talking about, I'm just going to go herbalist or natural. And same thing, listen, nature has been around since the beginning of time, and we've been okay before we had this technology. So it's like finding that balance, I think, is probably really important.
Yes, and for finding the balance is for accepting just where and when do we need each other, you know?
What sort of like misconceptions do you hear about like crystals and herbals and stuff like that? Like, what's the biggest misconception you hear, or like false information?
They are a cure-all.
They
don't.
And they don't.
They are tools given to us to help us.
See, I like that. I don't think a lot of people would say that.
They are tools.
I think a lot of people would say, hey, I can cure everything.
No, don't.
That's interesting. What's the most surprising benefit that you've discovered through an herb or a natural remedy? And do you have like an example of it? Like, have you seen something in real life? You know, like sometimes you talk to like religious people and they have this like divine intervention or divine moment in their life where they saw God has done something very specific. And then they're like a true believer moving forward, right? Has anything happened to you like that with someone using crystals on someone or?
Yes, with using crystals, but also the most, I saw so many things through 10 years, but I'm going to tell you my own story, okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
I love
yes.
that.
My own recent story, mushrooms, psilocybin. It helped me so much to go through childhood traumas. It helped me so much. And
Talk to us about it.
yes. I went to the Netherlands 1 year ago, and then I planned one day specifically to do a mushroom trip. Yes. And then I went to the trip
By yourself?
by myself.
Okay. So
in my room.
no coaches, no nothing.
No one.
Yeah.
Me and myself.
Wow.
And
That was your first time?
my first time.
That's
Yes.
brave.
Yes. Then, I started to cry, and then I went back. I can't explain. It's like my whole body was traveling back in time when I was little, and then I saw many, hurtful things happening, things that shouldn't happen to a child. And then I had the moment to cry, really, really cry about it.
Like it was there with you.
Yes. I didn't have that opportunity before. And something changed because I felt it. And when I came back to Curacao, everyone was telling me, Ellie, you look different.
Wow.
Like different. But I felt it too. And then it was like a domino effect because I didn't need it to use it one more time. It was like a domino effect.
It just
Yes.
that foundation got a little fixed.
Exactly.
Impacted everything else.
Yes.
I don't have any experience with mushrooms. This is a type of mushroom and you just eat it?
Psilocybin,
shrooms.
yes.
Psilocybin.
Yes, psilocybin.
And you just, what happens? How do you feel?
They say it helps a lot with depression and anxiety. And I had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I knew, many things happened in my childhood and also my teenage time. And I just wanted to understand the pain. I couldn't understand. And I also couldn't understand why it was still there because now I'm 40, so I couldn't understand how it couldn't leave my body. But also the way I saw healing was also maybe not okay. I saw it like very linear, but it's not, and it's not circular neither. It's like downwards, for real. It's like going back to your roots.
It's interesting you say because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who was having a therapy session, and the therapist actually said to do something very similar, not to do shrooms, but meditation state, go back to that moment, in one of those moments in your lives where it was a very traumatic experience as a child, okay?
Yes.
I want you to see it. I want you to see it. I want you to see yourself and whoever else is in that room with you. And then I want you to go to yourself as a kid, as who you are now, and I want you to tell them everything's going to be okay. And I want you to comfort that person. And then once you do that, now I want you to go to the person who was doing the trauma to you and understand why they were doing it.
Yes, it's painful. It is.
And you have to be able to understand that person who's putting pain on you, as bad as it is, something happened to that person.
Yes.
And that's the toughest part.
The toughest.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, on a lighter note, I've done shrooms many times, and most of the times I'm like talking to the bees.
Laughing and
I'm like, sitting on a rock for like
see it
6.5.
totally. I see.
Sitting on a rock for 6 hours,
That's what I meant.
talking to the fish.
Michael, I think it's the intention.
Exactly.
For me, it was very intentional. I planned it, in my own company, totally
To give you some
by myself.
insight on how insane that is, I'm going to use real words here.
Yeah, do so.
Acid, which you've had a couple tabs in your life,
Just one tiny one.
okay, is like kind of hallucinogen for humans. They call shrooms hallucinogens for the gods. And it's always recommended for the first time to be with a coach. Same with acid, right? They always recommend, hey, if your first time going, make sure you have someone there with you, a pharmacist.
You can
of sort.
trust, yes.
Yeah, you know what I
Someone
mean?
you can trust, yeah.
Number one. Number two, shrooms. I always say outdoors. Okay? Because when you're in, it's coming in.
It's coming
in. I think that's probably the most profound lesson you've ever learned from a plant. But what about everyday things? Like, what can you teach the everyday person to learn from nature and like what you do? Obviously, what you do has taken years of study, of growing up with it, of living with it, with breathing with it. What about just like everyday person that wants to embrace their own version of what you do? What is there any advice that you give them?
Yes. To embrace our vulnerability, because we are, working with plants and nature and also microorganisms. I saw how vulnerable and humble we as human beings must be. That's the most important thing I learned from nature, because I'm going to tell you why. Because, I worked with bacteria and microorganisms that could keep living without oxygen. And
That's crazy.
Yes.
There is?
a lot.
I didn't know
Yes. Yes, a lot. They don't have oxygen. They don't need oxygen. And we need oxygen. And oxygen is like a waste product of plants. So when they take oxygen from us, we are done. We are done. We are dead. But life, plants, microorganisms, they can go on without us. They don't need us.
No.
We need them.
If anything, they're worse with us.
That's the biggest life lesson I had working with nature.
But is there any practical things, like maybe some herbs that they can take from the garden, make a tea? Like that kind of stuff?
Oregano. It's like a must-have. But
What do you do with it?
you can do so many things.
Tell us one thing.
Okay, I love to smell the flowers of the oregano. To be honest, we call it oregano here in Curacao, but the real plant, the real name is Lipia alba.
Lipia alba.
So I love to smell the flowers. They are very lavender flower look like. Yes.
What
I
do
love
they do? They peace?
No, yes, it's antidepressant.
Oh, so smelling oregano flowers is antidepressant?
Oregano, Lipia alba is, and you can make tea with it. It's our national drink,
And when I talk to people like you, I always feel, and I this is a compliment, it's not an insult. It might come off as an insult. But I feel the same when I talk to an accountant, okay? When I talk to an accountant, I say the first thing I think about is, why don't they teach this in school? Taxes, everybody has to do them. I don't know what the hell's going on.
because they don't want you to be,
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient.
And so
it's the
I got
same
this-
with herbs.
And that's the same feeling I got with you.
Yeah.
Why don't they teach this in school? Like even just one class, right, in your high school when you can actually retain, like just a herb class. This is what oregano is good for. This is what rosemary is good for. This is the berries you can eat. This is what you can't eat.
And like
because
how to
they don't
prepare
want
them.
us to be self-sufficient.
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
maybe
That's
also
the
turn to
question.
medicine as opposed
Yes.
to, or like, stuff you can buy.
Talk to us about Curacao before we end, because this has been a beautiful conversation, and this is such a beautiful island, and you reference it so much in your talk, and
Thank
you
you.
bleed it. You just bleed it out. Talk to us about Curacao. Like, somebody comes here, what do they have to do? What do they have to see?
They have to go to the local people.
Everybody says that. I say it too.
Yeah.
But I like when locals say that.
Yes.
Because a lot of locals...
Come to us. Come to the local people. Please. I see people coming to Curacao to live in Curacao, but they never get in touch with the local people.
So weird.
They stay in their own bubble with the same kind of people you left. They don't want to get to know us. They don't want to get to know our language, our native language, which is Papiamento. I even had one client one time. He told me, "Yeah, I think Papiamento is it's a complete nonsense. I can learn Spanish, but I don't think I need to learn Papiamento." So I told him 25 years.
Oh my God.
So I asked him, "Why do you live here?" "Yes, because I love Curacao." And I told him, "You don't love Curacao.
You love the idea of Curacao.
You love the idea, but also
the beach.
Yes, that. The freedom
Yeah.
you feel in Curacao, but no.
But
Talk
not
to me
the
about
real
Papiamento.
Curacao.
Yes.
Very interesting language. Never heard anything like it.
No, me neither. And I never know what it is. I listen to it and I'm like, oh, that's Brazilian Portuguese, 100%.
Yes.
And then I hear it somewhere else. I'm like, oh, they're speaking Spanish. And then I hear, oh, this is Dutch.
I feel some Dutch in it.
Papiamento is a language our ancestors made to talk with each other. Because here in Curacao, they brought enslaved people from different countries from Africa. So each one of them speaking another language. So they needed to start to communicate with each other, you know? And that's how Papiamento started. So Papiamento has a lot of passion, a lot of determination, a lot of life to keep going, to keep going forward. They needed to create that language to move forward.
Wow. And it's lasted this long.
I love Papiamento so much.
Teach us something in Papiamento. Teach us something in Papiamento.
Me estimabo.
Me estimamo.
Me
How do you say,
Estimabo. I love you so
Estimabo.
much.
how do you say child of Curacao again?
You de Curacao.
Estimamo you de Curacao.
Thank you so much, Masha Danki.
Estimamo
You de
you de
Curacao.
Curacao.
Maybe if you use your hands a little bit, me estimabo you de Curacao.
Estimamo you de
Yes,
Curacao.
the strength. Yes, the passion, the strength, you know? Me estimabo you de Curacao.
You speak Papiamento with heart.
Yes.
Tell the audience, tell the world something in Papiamento, and then tell us what it means. Like a message, if you could say anything. You can say anything you want.
Tem coragem, sempre de vida. Tem coragem para dar para o meu step. Tem coragem para speak up para o mês. Tem coragem para seguir by delante.
What does that mean?
I said, be courageous. Be courageous to moving forward. Be courageous to put the first step. And be courageous for everything because nature responds to courage.
Courage.
Courage, yes.
Nature responds to courage.
It's true, right? It's the same thing as saying like you make your own luck. So at the end of every conversation, we like to do a speed round where I'm going to ask you 4 questions.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. You can think about it or don't think about it. I like to just say whatever on your mind.
Okay.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Here in Curacao with my grandmother.
See, she brought someone from the past because she's gone right now, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Why?
Sorry. You told me it was difficult. Yes, because she was so loving.
I love my grandpa like that too.
You know, her nickname was Nice. Because she
Really?
was so nice.
That's the biggest compliment you could ever get.
I dream about her a lot. Yes.
It's beautiful. You
That's the-
still remember her so purely.
And what a gift to be able to dream about her so much. Woo! Next question.
Okay.
What are you most scared of?
Yo. What are those questions, man? No. to don't leave a legacy behind.
What is your biggest regret?
To not have the strength to leave certain relationships sooner.
That's a big one.
I know.
But
Still having it, working on it.
yeah.
To don't
But they
blame
all
myself so much.
Yeah.
all those little bad things make who you are now.
Yes, they were necessary.
I think we always try to think about this linear thing. This bad thing happened. I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it to happen.
But you are who you are today. You're the beautiful person you are today because of that, regardless of how fucked up that bad thing was.
It was fucked up.
You know what I mean?
God.
Okay,
I'm glad we're laughing about it because
and final one, and this is a good one. What makes you happiest?
Hi, seeing my children every day and just knowing they are okay.
I'm gonna kind of make a leap here. You kind of answered what I'm most scared of was to not leave a legacy. And what makes you happy is seeing them that they're okay, which means they are okay, which means you've done your job, which means you have a legacy.
Whoa! Connecting the dots. Thank you so much.
We'll end on that. We gotta leave on a high note.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate it.
inviting me.
I really hope you got something from this episode because it was really special to me. And I think it really embodies what this podcast is about, right? Sharing different cultures, meeting really cool people, and telling their stories. Again, thank you for listening. No Fixed Address, the world's most extraordinary people, is presented by Matador Network.
Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We release new episodes every other Thursday.